Hello, artist. For our unit on sculpture, we're going to be creating pumpkins in the style of artist Yayoi Kusama. She's one of the most famous artists currently living. She has amazing art exhibitions that are really interactive and fun and fanciful. She uses pumpkins as a theme in a lot of her artwork. So we're going to create a pumpkin sculpture using plastic bags, newspaper, and some of this plaster sheeting. The first step is to take your plastic bag and we're going to fill it with some crumpled newspaper. You want to open the paper up all the way and then crunch it into a ball. You want to make sure that the newspaper is opened completely so that you get the biggest crunched up paper shape possible. So it's open completely, crunch it up, stuff it inside. We're going to use, I don't know, 4 to 6 big pieces of newspaper. It just depends on how large your newspaper crumples up. We want to get a nice shape for our pumpkin. Let's see. I still need a few more. I'm pressing the air out of this to see if I can get it in the shape of a ball. Pretty good. I think one more piece of newspaper and I'll have a pretty good shape to work with. Crunch it up. So you can see my plastic bag is full to overflowing with newspaper, and I'm going to gather these edges together in my hands. I'm going to squeeze out the air and I want to press it into a circle or pumpkin shape. Once it's a circle shape, I'm going to twist the bag. I'm going to use my rubber band to just seal the bag shut. All right, so I've got a nice shape now. I've twisted the bag to create a stem shape. I'm gonna put some tape on this so it stays twisted. The only type of tape I have at home is this washi tape, which has flowers on it. We'll be using regular masking tape in school. All right, so I put a little piece of tape so I can get that nice pumpkin shape. And then the next part is important. This is what's gonna make our circle bag look like more of a pumpkin shape. We're gonna take masking tape and we're gonna create the lines that you see when you look at a pumpkin. Just the way they grow, pumpkins have these natural kind of curves and indents, and we want to create that with our tape. So I'm going to use my tape, probably 3 long pieces, starting on one side and going all the way to the other side. And you can see it creates the nice rounded shape that we see typically in a pumpkin. This tape is not as sticky as regular masking tape, so I'm going to use a little bit extra just to make sure it stays. I need one more piece. And I've spaced them pretty evenly around the sides of my pumpkin. And I'm always going to come through the center as I wrap it around, bringing it to the other side. All right. So now I've got those natural indentations that you would see on a typical pumpkin. The next step is going to be to cover this with my plaster sheeting. So I've pre-cut some sheets of plaster that will be at your table. And it's really important that you don't put this on too lumpy or too thick. It looks like this. So I'm gonna dip my plaster sheeting into water. I wanna get the whole thing wet. And it is a little bit messy. I'm gonna take it to my pumpkin, lay it on nice and flat, and then just smooth it around. I'm gonna use my fingers to smooth it all over. You want it to be flat to the plastic, not lumpy or bumpy, because this is gonna dry really hard, just like the same material that you would see a cast made out of. So this stuff gets rock hard. You wanna make sure that the way you lay it is the way you want it to be. So you just quickly dip it into water again. And right next to that piece that I've already laid, I'm gonna come and flatten it out and then smooth it out. So you flatten it and then you smooth it all around your pumpkin. So you're gonna continue this till the entire pumpkin is covered. I'll do that in fast forward. So I've checked all over my pumpkin to make sure that every area is covered with my plaster wrap. I've smoothed any lumps or bumps. The next step is to cover the stem. So I'm just gonna use a half a piece of this plaster wrap material, and I'm just gonna wrap it around the stem. And I want to bend it so that it gets that classic pumpkin stem shape. So I'm just going to put a little bend in the plastic underneath so I get a more authentic pumpkin shape. And I'm just going to smooth it around so you can see it looks like a stem shape. And now the only thing I can do is let this dry. Once I've checked for anything that I've missed, I've smoothed everything down, I'm gonna let this guy dry, and then the next step will be to paint it.